Welcome back to another edition of the Triple Crown News Minute presented by Kentucky Equine Research, world leaders in equine nutrition. I'm Ray Paulick here with news editor Chelsea Hackbarth. We are looking at the resumption of the road to the Kentucky Derby, September 5th. We now know when all three of these races are going to be held. This is an unprecedented year. The focus this week, Chelsea, is on the Matt Winn Stakes, a points race at Churchill Downs. First of all, who's Matt Winn?
Well, Colonel Matt Winn was responsible for turning the Kentucky Derby into the premier race in North America. He was president of Churchill Downs in the early 1900s, and he was a self-described marketing guru. And apparently, according to the Ray Paulicks of the world, he sent bourbon to all of the media people.
I guess it works. All right, well, big story here, I think everybody would agree, is Maxfield, a horse that a lot of people like going into last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile, was scratched just before the race, had some minor surgery. He's coming back for his first start of the year. What have you heard about Maxfield's progression from a 2-year-old when he won the Breeders Futurity at Keeneland to right now?
Well, the people who see him every day have said that he's always been a big colt, but now he's an enormous colt, and he's filled out his frame, and he's just massive. They also say he has a great big puppy dog personality. So if we do have fans at the Kentucky Derby on September 5th, I don't think that'll bother him.
Well, one thing that might bother Maxfield is he's a horse that I think needs a solid pace. And as you and I have looked over this race, we've kind of come to the conclusion there's not a lot of speed in here.
There's really like 2 speed horses, and one of those is a big question mark. So probably New York Traffic will get the front coming out of the 6th hole for Safi Joseph and Paco Lopez. Now, those two guys don't work together very often, but when they do, they win at 52%. So that's something we can't quite ignore. If he gets alone on the lead, or the other speed horse, the 4, Celtic Striker, if he backs off and gives New York Traffic a breather at some point, could be pretty hard to beat that.
There's another horse in here that might throw something into the pace, and that's Mystic Guide, owned by Godolphin, the same owners as Maxfield, breaking from the number 1 post position. And he's not really a speed horse, but it looks like he's got tactical speed, and maybe he'll have to come out of there running from the 1 hole.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of options unless you want to be at the back of the field early. Right. Also, his jockey, Brian Hernandez, is having a really, really good year. Just riding really well, winning at 21%. Hard to not use that one, at least underneath.
Yeah, I think there's 2 horses here that deserve a serious look in addition to Maxfield and the speed horses, and that's Pneumatic, coming out of the 2 post. Steve Asmussen trained horse, is unbeaten in 2 starts. This is a Winchell homebred, and I looked this up, tracing back to Vern Winchell's first broodmare, a mare named Carol's Christmas, who was a really outstanding mare. So I know that this one comes from a really good family. It's an Uncle Mo, so the pedigree is there for sure. The other horse is Major Fed, who's stuck up on the outside. Came off a strange race to be 4th in Louisiana Derby. What do you think of those 2 horses?
I love Pneumatic. He's got 2 male members of his extended family that have won Derby preps. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to do the same thing. The only thing that gives me a question mark on this horse is he's a little rank when going down the backstretch when they tried to rate him in that allowance race at Oaklawn. If he's got to come out of that 2 hole, he's got to come out running, and then he needs to back off the pace. So if Ricardo Santana can get into settle after gunning him out of the gate, I think nobody beats him, honestly. But that's a pretty big question mark. Granted, if anyone can have him ready to settle, Asmussen can.
Yeah, I think Pneumatic could be sitting just off the lead, and if he relaxes, he's going to be doubly tough. Major Fed was so far back in the Louisiana Derby, he broke from the 1 post in a 14-horse field, was last early, was last going into the turn, and rallied, I think, something like 12 wide at the top of the stretch. And he was the only horse really closing any ground. The winner, Wells Bayou, was first all the way, and I think the runner-up was second or third all the way. The third place horse was close up. So Major Fed came from 14th on a Joel Rosario, and he's riding him back.
It is interesting that Rosario keeps them out. Greg Foley, Major Fed's trainer, has said that this is their best chance to get a horse into the Kentucky Derby that they've ever had. And there's nothing not to like about this horse except for the fact that this is a 1.16 mile race. You probably will love every inch of 1.25 miles, but 1.16 miles, short run to the first turn, got to come out of the 12th hole. That's a lot to overcome. That's not to say you shouldn't use him underneath, but I don't think he's your winner this time.
All right, we'll be right back, and we're going to tell you our picks after this word from Kentucky Equine Research.
For over 30 years, Kentucky Equine Research has measured the effects of diet changes in thoroughbreds, including active racehorses. These results are used to develop high-quality feeds, ingredients, and supplements that top feed manufacturers, veterinarians, and trainers rely on worldwide. Learn more at KER.com. Kentucky Equine Research, world leaders in equine nutrition.
Okay, Chelsea, who do you like in the Matt Winn Stakes from Churchill Downs this Saturday?
Much as I'd like to bet Maxfield, I'm not going to take the odds that horse is going to be. So give me Pneumatic at 4-1 morning line. But if he drops below 3-1, which he may well do, give me New York Traffic. If he goes anywhere near 10-1, like he is on the morning line, that is a gift that I would like wrapped and in a bow. So thank you very much.
All right, I like Pneumatic as well, but I'm not going to pick the horse since you did. I'm going to go with Major Fed on the outside. Joel Rosario is a strong finisher. He's as strong a finisher as there is racing today. And Major Fed is a true closer. I'm hoping for a quick pace. I know that may be ridiculous, but we'll have to wait and see.
It may also be ridiculous because Churchill's been so speed favoring the first 3-4 days of the meet. But best of luck to you, boss man.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Triple Crown News Minute, presented by Kentucky Equine Research. We'll see you next time.